Welcome to Wheels and Deals Podcast, sponsored by North Georgia Toyota in beautiful Dalton, Georgia, the ultimate pit stop for all things automotive. Join your hosts, Daniel Groce and Benjamin Ward, guiding you through the exhilarating world of car buying, car facts, and car parts, all while throwing in a dash of insight into the life at a dealership. So buckle up, tune in, and let's hit the road to explore the thrilling journey of Wheels and Deals. Welcome, my friends, to a brand new episode of Wheels and Deals podcast, sponsored by North Georgia Toyota. I am your host, Ben Ward, alongside with my co-host, Daniel Groce. Welcome, Daniel.
Happy Friday. Let's go.
Yeah, happy Friday, indeed. So we got two special guests in the studio today. We got our Lube tech, Brian West, who is knowledgeable about not just of our competitors, but our cars as well. We got him on the show today. Welcome, Brian.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Glad to have you, buddy.
And also we got another special guest here today, Conor Tiedmann for Dynamic Roofing, who's also another huge fan of Toyota. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks. It's good to be here. You nailed the last name, Ben. Good job on that.
Yeah, that's right.
He's been practicing.
Yeah. Well, friends, today's topic, we're going to talk about like historical Toyota vehicles and also the introductions of the new models coming. Because you look at our history of Toyota and like all the vehicles that we kind of knew, but they don't really exist anymore, or what happened to them, or they become something different. And Brian and I had some really good conversations about some things that just kind of happened. Like some of they're the same cars, they're just name changes. Yep. So we're gonna dig deep about that. And but also
you want to tell people about all the events we got going on before we get into the show?
Sure. So next week, today is October 18th, 2024. So as I'll post this sometime Monday morning, which will be Monday the 21st of October. Or Tuesday the 22nd, either or. The 26th of October, we're doing a miniature fall festival from 11 to 3 p.m. We'll have a little inflatable, some trunks full of candy for the kids.
Trunk or treat,
Trunk or treating, yeah.
Photo ops.
A little photo ops.
Hay, skeletons.
Hay and skeletons, yeah. One of the skeletons might be driving a Tundra.
Uh-oh.
So we never know.
Spooky.
Yeah. It's been a little spook, but also a lot of fun. I'm going to try my best to get some apple cider donuts in LJ. So
all right.
If that doesn't work out, of course, I have to settle Dunkin' Donuts, but
you have to get the LJ donuts now. You've already said.
Well, I want to do the best I can. So you never know if they ever run out or something. But for sure, the LJ donuts are the best.
That'll be a hit
because that's the apple capital of Georgia. But it is Truck Month right now at North Georgia Toyota, so you got plenty of opportunity during the month of October to trade in your Tacomas or your Tundras and get something new. Or if you're want to be new to the trucking industry, I mean, come on by and see us, and we'll be happy to put you in a new vehicle. And Connor, you said you have your business. It has two Tacoma 2014 Tacomas
with 300,000 miles on them each.
Wow.
And how are they doing so far?
No, perfect, just like every other Toyota I've ever had.
Heather Belly broke in $300K. That's it.
Yeah.
But we actually had a guest in the show. His name's Larry Gray, and he has a 4Runner. I believe it's a 4Runner. I by my calculations, I would say by now he's about up to 520,000 miles on his 4Runner, give or take. Because last time he was on the show, it was like a little over like 512 or something like that.
That's crazy.
Top of my head, so it's got to be up getting close to 520. And I got to tell you, like, we're going to keep an eye on his journeys because we want to have him back on the show when he reaches 600,000. I'm hoping and praying we'll make it to 1 million miles with him.
If he makes it to 1 million, we're going to have to call Toyota.
Yeah, we're going to have to call Toyota.
Mr. Toyota himself.
Yeah, we have to do it. We have to figure a way to reward that man.
It's crazy.
I don't know if you know this. I have an 87 at home that's about to hit the 500,000 mark.
Really?
Wow.
It's in the high 400s.
That's cool.
But we'll have to keep a track of your journey too. So
I can't wait to hit that 500 mark. That's been a really good truck. I can't get rid of it. There's been a couple times I've thought about it. I just can't bring myself to do it.
When you're invested that much, you have to see just where it goes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
For sure. Yeah, man. So why don't we go ahead and get the show on the road, guys? The Toyota has had so much history in their vehicles. So where do we start? We got a whole list of notes here from like up to the Corollas, Land Cruisers, and Camrys in their past, but we can look at the models that no longer exist, such as the Avalon, the Stout, the Celica, Solara, Prius V's, Starlet, MR2s, Matrix CHR. I mean, the list goes on.
They left an important one off the list.
Hey, what would that
Corona?
Corona. Yeah, of course. There's a ton of old ones, but the FJ Cruiser.
Yeah, dude, the FJ Cruiser. It's actually still produced.
Is it?
It's overseas.
It
though.
actually just died.
It just died.
It just died.
So they discontinued overseas.
Yep.
Was it a diesel version also?
I believe in some of them.
Dude,
yes.
every
They
other
get all the
country,
cool stuff.
the EPA. I don't even have a nice enough word to say it, but they do not let us own or operate diesel here because of all the emissions. Thanks, big government.
yeah,
It's only
government.
more efficient, burns cleaner than gasoline, and lasts your entire lifetime. But we can't have one.
Yeah, that's right.
Figure me that.
I had an FJ Cruiser, and it was an incredible vehicle. And Jeeps with way bigger lifts, way
Yeah.
bigger tires could not keep up with me.
Wow.
And a tree fell on it.
Oh
And
man!
totaled it. I mean, right down the middle.
Gosh, only an act of God can kill a Toyota.
Yeah, that's what it took. That's what it took.
Well, I guess is God a fan of Toyotas? I guess I don't know.
I don't
Well, he wants you to go out and buy a new one.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah, He's a fan of making money, I guess. Hey, you know what interesting fun fact about an FJ Cruiser? I bet he knows. How many windshield wipers does it have on the front?
Oh, yeah.
3.
I was gonna say
3.
about three,
Is
right?
that not insane? Why? I
It's
guess
a
because the
totally
windshield's so
different-
big?
It's a totally different windshield.
just a different-
It sits like almost flat in front of you.
It's crazy, though.
The whole thing. It's completely impractical for anything
It's
else
sweet,
except for
though.
being the best off-road
Oh,
vehicle
yeah.
you could ever have. Blind spots are terrible, but you don't need that in the woods.
No. And then, is the floor in all of them, it's like a plastic floor,
Weather-
right?
yeah, from the
So you
factory.
could just rinse it
Hose
out.
it out.
Yeah, yeah. See, it's such a great design.
Factory JBL subwoofer, a compass,
Yeah.
a little
That's right.
tilt thing that tells you at what angle
And
you're
they call
on.
that an inclinometer?
Inclinometer.
Yes.
That's a good
Big
word.
words.
Yeah,
Inclinometer.
I believe
Dude,
you.
I wish they would bring that back, dude. It's crazy.
I think it was on there was an FJ Cruiser that was on an episode of Top Gear USA that they used to go along is it the Appalachian Trail?
Yeah.
And the FJ was actually the only one that made it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it proved exactly that they are the best off-road.
The resale value on one that's got over 200K is crazy too. People pay a bunch of money for them.
Well, that's
Yeah,
pretty much all Toyota though.
That's
Like,
true, yeah.
Toyota
Especially the
just-
trucks though. Is SUVs is wild.
Oh yeah.
There was another Top Gear episode on killing a Toyota where they I can't remember what they eventually had to do. I don't think they ever killed it. Do you know the British Top Gear episode where they strap it? It's an old pickup truck,
Yeah,
a
they
90s
tried-
model.
they
Strapped
tried.
it to the top of a building that was being
Oh,
demolished.
and the building fell down.
Yeah, they lost it at sea. They tried to let the tide come up over it. They strapped it down at a dock, and they just had this little tiny toolbox, screwdriver, and a
Crazy.
couple of sockets. Come out there and
Wow.
crank it up every time.
Dude, I'm
Every
telling
time
you.
could kill it.
Oh man.
That's why you see them in the places across the world. Like I'm getting into my fun facts, but Malaysia, Ukraine, the Middle East, Dishka strapped to the back with the Taliban. Everybody uses Toyotas. Dude, it's crazy. You cannot kill them.
It's the reliability.
It's wild.
That's when you hear Toyota, you think reliability.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think one of the cars that I found that wasn't on the list that was discontinued was the Toyota Chaser.
Never
Yeah.
heard of that.
So it was one of the rare cult classic JDM cars.
Somebody pull up a picture so I can get a visual. While he's
Do you know,
telling me.
was that a straight six?
Yes.
Okay.
So it had the sister motor to the original Supra.
Wow.
So it had the 1JZ in it. So it was and from what I studied, it was one of those that you could build it the same way you could a 2JZ and pull almost the exact same amount of power.
That's pretty cool.
Was it married to Beyonce?
The Jay-Z? Yeah. Oh, my word. It kind of looks
Ben.
like a precursor to an old Supra.
A little bit, yeah.
Kind of. It gives me that Fast and Furious vibe.
You could build them like
I like
that,
it.
I believe. They made several
That's
different
crazy.
body kits for them. Man.
Wow.
Any of those straight sixes were
I didn't know
stout,
Toyota
and
had
they
a
were
straight six.
luxury.
And believe it or not, they made that thing for 24 years.
Jeez.
They made it from 77 to 2001.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a Lexus SC300 that had a 2JZ. It was not a turbo
Yeah,
engine,
yeah.
but it would get up and go. But at idle, it was the smoothest. All around, it was the smoothest thing I'd ever
Wow.
driven. But you could put a quarter on its side and let it sit there, and it would balance. It was like the engine wasn't even running; it didn't move.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a beautiful engine.
Are we speaking German to you, Ben, right now?
Oh no, no! I'm loving this. This is
Sprechen Sie
really
Toyota?
good. Oh man, just talk about a whole new realm of Toyotas. So
Isn't it wild how they do come out with new stuff? But the Avalon to me caught me off guard that they discontinued it.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, the Avalon was like the bridge into Lexus, Whereas if you wanted a Camry, you liked the full-size sedan, but you wanted that luxury, but you didn't want to jump up to a Lexus, the Avalon was the go-to. Our GM Greg drove one for 10 years here as his demo. I mean, he was a diehard Avalon guy. I think he cried a little when they discontinued it.
Man, and Greg doesn't seem like he's a crying kind of guy. If he is, he's private about it. But yeah,
he went in a closet and cried. But it was weird to me. But I mean, I guess they replaced it with Toyota now. It seems like they're really invested into the crossover space.
Yes.
Like there's a ton of crossovers now, which is cool because you get that feel, the bigger feel, but yet you still got the bigger sedan vibe. So
right. I mean,
get it.
Speaking of the car, the CHR, like doing some research on that one.
I hated that car.
Yeah, I kind of liked it
From a mechanic standpoint. I also hate that car. Everything is crammed into that thing in every shape, way, and form of that term.
It was a weird design.
Yeah.
Well, the Corolla Cross absorbed that car, so
much better footprint. But CHR was a carryover from Scion. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
So when they absorbed Scion back into when it kind of flopped eventually, the CHR was called. I don't know what it's called, but it was they just rebranded it. Toyota badge, Scion out the door.
Those smart cars, the Scion smart cars.
Oh yeah, what? No, Smart Car was its own brand though, right?
I think. Well,
Yes.
I thought it was its own
Smart
brand.
Car was its own brand,
Yeah.
but it was almost like not really a subsidiary because it was still Scion, but it was almost like a sub model that never went under the Scion name.
I would love to own
gotcha.
one.
I thought it was a Scion.
Scion made them.
Okay, so
but they never put a badge for Scion on them. They were they just labeled them as smart
Gotcha.
cars.
That's crazy.
So they could
Never
peddle
knew.
them as a different company.
Never knew it had anything to do with Scion.
I didn't either. I thought it was its own weird thing.
yeah.
It's almost the exact same thing moving to like the 86. The 86, a BRZ, and an FRS are all the exact
FRS,
same
that's
car.
what it came from, yeah.
So, like with the 86, everybody fears Subaru because they're known for blowing head gaskets. Talking from the mechanic standpoint here, nobody wants to own a Subaru because they're really bad about blowing head gaskets. But the cool thing that Toyota does with any time they work with a company, you look at the new Supra, it uses a BMW powertrain.
Yeah.
Toyota is not just going and buying these motors or partnering with BMW. They are taking these motors and improving them, looking for problems, testing these engines. That way, when they go in their car, you are getting, no matter what the name on that engine is or who built the engine, you're getting the Toyota promise of reliability and that it is going to outlast you in the entire time that you own that vehicle.
Yeah.
And they done the same thing with the 86 with the Boxer engine, is they went through the whole thing and fixed all of the problems.
Yeah.
They said, this is where we know there's an issue after years of technicians dealing with it. Let's fix it.
That's cool.
And they did. And it ended up being, from what I read, is now for several years running, but in 2024 was in I think it was Car Guru's top 10 best cars.
Wow.
Was the 86.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's always a Toyota on those lists. I remember I can't remember, was it the Corolla or the Camry that was on? I think it was Consumer Reports.
Probably the new
It was
Camry.
It was on. No, this was. I'm talking about
an old one?
An old one for like 10 years in a row. It
Wow.
was rated as the best selling car and the most reliable.
That's
car.
crazy.
I think it was the Camry because I always hear 90% of Camrys ever sold are still
In
running.
circulation.
That's wild.
they're-
That's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, speaking of trucks, though, it'd be the truck month.
Truck month.
Truck month. Toyota Stout.
Oh.
Dude, that's a rumor I keep hearing about. They're bringing it back supposedly.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
what I heard too.
so me and Ben were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
The Stout is actually still made.
Overseas.
Yes. Better known as the Hilux.
Oh, yeah,
The
okay.
Hilux
Gotcha.
is the Stout.
Okay.
It is the exact same thing.
Diesel, though.
Yes. So the Stout you can still buy. It's only in South Africa.
Wow.
Like you can still buy a brand new version of the Stout,
That's
2024.
It's still
in
also
South
the
Africa.
Starlet too,
The
right?
Starlet
yes.
too, yeah.
Yes.
And they were all versions of little
Dang.
mini trucks, and that was when you remember Toyo Car, when Toyota had the
Yeah,
Toyo Car,
yeah.
like the little K truck looking
Okay.
thing. It's beautiful to know
That's
that
wild.
they all compete like that.
Dang.
You know, you build one, I'm going to build it better.
That's crazy.
I mean, bringing it up like a different industry I used to work at. I worked in the mattress firm industry for a little bit. I used to be a manager at a mattress firm.
Big mattress guy.
Oh yeah,
I love mattresses.
Oh yeah, gotta love a good mattress.
Spend plenty of time on it.
we sleep on them every day. At least I hope so. But the reason why I'm bringing up the mattress industry into play because when Brian and I were talking about this, because there'll be so many types of mattresses that I know for a fact was like a Serta something or a Sealy something. We're not getting paid by the mattress industry to talk about this, but just
non-sponsor.
Non-sponsor. But the reason why I'm bringing this up because there'll be mattresses I know I touched, I tested or whatever, and they're under a different name, but they're like just the same exact mattress.
That's crazy.
All they did is change the name. It's like
you see it all the time in consumer stuff. I mean, Kirkland brand, Walmart brand, they all have their sub brands, and it's probably literally made in the same place.
Yeah,
and they all taste the same.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How did you get introduced to Toyota, and what's your background with the brand?
I'll just say my dad and mom wouldn't. They were older when they had me. They had already been through all of the other car brands, and had already discovered that's what they wanted. I was raised in an Avalon, and when that was wrecked, my mom got a Solera.
Okay.
And, I remember my dad having a 4Runner growing up. Also, it's just kind of born into me. But then my first car was a 2004 Corolla, and that's how I learned to work on stuff. Not because it ever broke down, but just I was excited. I wanted to sit there and look at it all the time. It was my first car.
Tinker with it.
I would clean the throttle body like twice a week for absolutely no reason. It was just
dude.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think for me, I didn't grow up in a Toyota household. My dad worked for GM for 16 years, so kind of the mechanic aspect of it, I've been doing almost, my whole life learning and getting into the trade. And I was in the process of leaving another shop, and I had come by here and talked to our service manager, Hammer, and just asked if he needed any help. And he told me, he was like, well, I'm not really looking for anybody right now, but I'll take your name into consideration. And 2 weeks later, he gave me a phone call.
That's cool.
That was almost a year ago. November 17th,
nice.
I'll have been here for a year.
All right. Coming up on anniversary.
I can say that out of every shop or, vehicle that I've worked on throughout the years, I've been at this for about 5 years professionally.
Okay.
And out of every brand that I have ever worked on, Toyota is probably the truest to their claims of reliability. When you look at some of the stuff that we look at in the Lube bays and as technicians, people wonder, they ask the question, well, how come, my husband's S10 says that he's supposed to get the oil changed every 5,000 miles, but my Camry is, it's 10,000 miles.
Yeah.
Well, what they don't know is Toyota goes to such lengths as to make the displacements in their engine so small that it allows for a pure run through of the engine. Things are well lubricated the first time that they go through, so you don't have to do it as long. Yeah. And it's amazing to see a company stand behind their reliability as much as Toyota does.
Yeah.
And it makes you want to continue to work for them, just because, especially here at North Georgia Toyota, we're all a family.
Yeah, we are.
We all stick together. Everybody's watching each other's back. So, it's just I come in here and I love the atmosphere and I love the people, and I don't want to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, same here. And hearing the mechanical side of things and the sales side of things, I do believe that Toyota is a true vehicle that everyone should be driving. So
it's a product you feel good in recommending to people. Like you're going to sell one to your mom, you're going to sell one to your brother, sister, your cousins. You feel confident in the product. It's not something you don't ever have to really sell anybody on the brand,
right? Yeah.
It's our job is to find the right vehicle that fits your needs and then make it affordable. And like he mentioned, the car business is a very cutthroat, unwelcoming, hostile environment in most other places, and I can tell you that from experience. This place is completely different, great culture. The owners actually care about who you are, your family, and what you're doing here, and the longevity of your career. So we are very fortunate and blessed to be here.
Oh yeah, I definitely have heard stories not just from you, Daniel, but even our former employee Zach, who was on the show a while back. He even talked about his sales experience when he was selling cars in Louisiana before Katrina hit, and talk about that industry.
Oh yeah, you're just a number.
Yeah, just
it's a revolving door. It's not a place you ever plant roots. So.
Oh yeah, it's just so cool about Toyota too. Is like, it's a revolution. I'm not. It's evolution or revolution. I'm trying to think of a word that could like fit like how cool Toyota is as a whole. Other than just
looking for words.
I'm like looking for
descriptive words.
Right. I'm thinking I can't put my finger on what word I want to describe Toyota as a whole, because like we have obviously the trucks, the cars, the everything you have there, but they have like the technologies that they're using.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic.
I believe you're thinking of the word innovative.
Innovative. Thank
Very
you.
Innovative.
Thank you, man. Very innovative. And they get from our technology. Then I came across Toyota USA's YouTube channel, and they have anime, like legitimate anime.
That was
Toyota.
it for you. You were sold.
I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's
like I'm sold.
I was like,
That's
okay,
it.
like, now I know Toyota is so cool. Like, have you guys heard of that? It's called Grip, a Toyota story. No. It's actually their 1 minute anime video. It's like full blown Japanese animation.
I'll take your word for it.
I always tell you.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just for the dorks like me out there, listening to this. But, just like it's like, this is how cool a company a Toyota really is. Like from your cars to little things like that. It's so cool.
I'll tell you one of the innovations that I've noticed over the last 3 or 4 years just from Toyota. You see the big deep dive into EVs now and Tesla and XYZ, whatever the companies are out there. But Toyota's really concentrated on the hybrid side of the house, which I think that's mostly what the American infrastructure, I think, today can physically handle. Like today, like you're not going to erase the giant thing that is the petroleum business, right, overnight. So I think, maybe one day we'll be all EV. Maybe one day we'll be flying to work. Who knows? But right now, hybrid, it is the best of both worlds. You get the crazy warranty. You still can put gas in your car. You don't have to update your, infrastructure at your house to charge something. And you can actually take a trip and not have to, stop in the hood of Detroit to charge your Tesla and have to hide behind your bulletproof stainless door of your Cybertruck or something.
Well, hybrid has just come so far now.
Oh, yeah.
The Tundra, the Tundra hybrid.
Yeah.
That'll pull a 10,000-pound boat from
It's
here
crazy.
to California like nothing.
It's wild. Yeah. I think the iForce Max it bumps it up to $10,000 to $12,000 if you have the hybrid battery cells too. The regular Tundra's 10. But yeah, I mean, you're talking, a half-ton truck? I mean, doing that's crazy.
Yeah, 10 years ago, that would have been unheard of to say that you're towing anything with a hybrid.
Oh, yeah.
But Toyota's always led the way with hybrid.
When did the first hybrid come out? We Googled that the other day. Google that.
It was
it's shocking. It's
it was
like
in the 90s or 80s.
I do know that.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I do know Toyota was actually one of the first companies to ever dive into a fully electric car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The original BZX4 was
Really?
a fully electric car.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It pulled a space shuttle one time too. I don't know if you saw
We
that.
got a picture in our studio.
That was the old faithful V8. Rest in peace. Pour one out for the homie.
Old 5.7.
5.7, yeah.
I have had 2 of those Tundras, and I regret selling both of them.
Okay, so according to my Google search here, the first Toyota hybrid vehicle, the Prius, was released in Japan in 1997.
That's crazy.
And in North America in 2000.
Yeah, so they've been in the hybrid game for a while.
I was looking at some of the fun stuff about some of the 2025 stuff coming out.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
like the Forerunner. Like
Oh,
they've
it's
come out
crazy.
with their own disconnect system.
Oh, okay.
Like-
For the front diff or something?
Yep.
That's
like
cool.
it allows for suspension travel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
It was wild to know that, like, and it's all interior. Like, I don't know if you guys are off road guys, but most of your off road
Locking
stuff,
hubs outside.
locking hub, you got to get out,
Yeah.
lock the hubs. A lot of companies have come up with their own manual or automatic locking hubs in their vehicles, but they've come up with a disconnect system for
That's
the
cool.
front sway bar link, where it'll flex as much as possible
Wow.
to allow you to go further in your off road adventures. And I thought that was pretty cool that, like, everybody's thought about different ways to go deeper off road.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you do when you hit the wall? Well, Toyota said, let's just climb over it.
Yeah.
Let's just make the suspension flex and climb the wall.
See, he likes that, and I think the pop-out Bluetooth speaker in the dash is like,
Yeah.
I did
that's
see
the
that
coolest
too.
party trick I've ever seen. Like, come on, man. I'm buying the truck. Yeah, just sell me the truck. I just want the Bluetooth speaker that pops out the dash.
And I do think that it's pretty cool that they're only doing the 2 editions of the Forerunner. this year. They're only doing the TRD Pro and
I didn't know that.
Trail Hunter editions is the two big editions that they're doing. I'm sure they'll still be your base stuff.
Yeah.
But they're two big editions this year, the TRD Pro and the Trail Hunter.
And for those guys and gals out there that are waiting for us to get the 25 4Runner, I have been told we're getting one unit possibly allocated at the end of this month, being October. Maybe the first, second week of November, we should be getting it, or at least have a timeline of an ETA.
Right.
I hope that they do the same thing. I don't know what Greg and Eddie's standpoint is, but I hope they don't pre-sell it and let it be here for at least a couple of weeks to let people get eyeballs and sit in it and see it. I don't know their plans, but hopefully, I'm hoping that you guys will get a chance to see it before it gets pre-sold.
Yeah.
Because the entire Southeast region is only getting one per store.
Yeah.
So it's a small launch, soft launch, but I mean, that dude, the new 4Runner is crazy.
And it's also coming with the 2.4 liter iForce Max in it now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Standard? So just the iForce Max?
Just the
so they're
iForce
all
Max.
hybrid.
Yeah, those fun.
That's pretty wild.
Anything that we get new on our lot, it just.
We're going to do Test Drive Tuesday on it.
Yeah, we will. We will
Yeah.
definitely do a
That would
test
be
drive
fun.
Tuesday.
We were the first one to do the Test Drive Tuesday on the Land Cruiser.
Yeah, and we drove it around the block.
Yeah.
in our dealership,
And then it got gone.
Yeah, it got gone. Like just like that. The day we test drove it, it was gone.
It was sold when we test drove it. That's why we didn't get it on the road. But,
Yeah.
dude, that thing is sweet.
Yeah, and that was actually one of our highest viewed videos on our YouTube channel as well. It's like how crazy, how popular our brand Toyota is and Land Cruisers. But I was going to say every time we get something new on the lot, it's gone. Like,
yeah. Well, not Tacomas, but
we except for truck. That's why we have Truck Month. So
we have 68 Tacomas.
yes, plenty of
And
Tacomas.
all of except 13 are here. So we have. If you would like a Tacoma, we can hook you up.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to see the TRD Pro with the new seat.
Oh, the suspension seat?
Yes.
That thing's crazy.
I have been waiting to see one of those, and I have yet to get to see one.
Yeah, good luck. We got to sell the 50 SR5s we have first.
Yeah, seriously, folks, if you guys need a fleet of Toyotas,
We will cut you a deal.
Yeah,
Hot deal with 2 T's. Good deal.
Hey, Daniel said it, not me. So
Ready to go.
Cut you a deal.
yeah, please come. You have a business or you just need a new truck. Please come and buy a Tacoma.
We would like to sell you a fleet if you need one.
Yeah.
We'd like to pick Connor's brain. Connor, give us a background on your business. We appreciate you being on the show, taking time out of your day, and give us a background on your roofing business and how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm here in Northwest Georgia, but we go all over Tennessee and all the way down to Atlanta. I'm with Dynamic Roofing. Do a lot of retail roofing, and mostly my division is insurance claims and like storm damage is my specialty. But yeah, we're everything residential and commercial.
That's cool.
Yeah, super great opportunity to be here with this company now. I love these trucks that we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
and that's when you're telling me, I've got two 2014s, and you're telling me that you've got some that you need gone. I probably ought to stay away from here.
Yeah.
I want a Tundra. That's going to be the next move. Is it?
Okay, go back to a full size.
Absolutely.
Yeah, feel the Tundra.
Well, especially with, now that I imagine you do a lot of traveling to do insurance quotes and up on roofs all the time. So, I mean, having a full-size truck is a huge advantage, but also that it gets such good gas mileage.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you lose a whole lot, so.
Yeah, that hybrid, the hybrid's going to be the next one for me. I've already set my eyes on that.
All right. Well, you know who to call when you're ready.
Yeah, I
call
can't wait
me and
until I'm
I'll
ready.
get you a good salesman to talk to, and
I'll set the appointment, and then he can come in.
that's right.
Yeah.
You call me, I'll send it to Daniel.
Yeah.
And Daniel send it to a salesman. So
It's a team effort.
it's a team. It's like a ladder. So
It's a collaboration
yeah.
of success.
Oh,
You want
for
to
sure.
know some fun facts now?
Yeah, Daniel, tell us.
I'm ready for my fun facts to be heard.
Go, yes.
So Toyota, I'm going to start with Toyota facts, and then I went to my favorite that was discontinued but now recontinued, Land Cruiser. We'll go to that in a second. But the Toyota fun facts that were shocking to me is the first motor company to produce 10 million cars in 1 year. 1 year. I don't know what year that happened, but that was 10 million new cars produced in 1 year. The only OEM to do that. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
On average, there is a Corolla sold every 27 seconds globally. That is stupid crazy.
So maybe hopefully today we'll have another Corolla going, or a whole lot of our
I hope
Corollas.
so.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I know, dude. And then the last little fun fact for the company Toyota itself is the first car was made in 1936. Was the first. I don't know if that was the first import or maybe the first actual Japanese unit that was ever made. The first car Toyota ever produced was in 1936. It's pretty wild. Now, the Land Cruiser, everybody knows that it got discontinued in 2019, and then it recently got re-released. And I really like the new Land Cruiser. I think it's more affordable now. There's a cloth version seat. So, I mean, the 1958. So, it really put a lot more people into that category that wanted a Land Cruiser before, because the Land Cruiser was mostly known as a luxury side of Toyota. But they, as of 10 million units have sold in the life of the Land Cruiser, which now that's more because it got re-released. In 1951, it was the first year of production, so the Land Cruiser has been around for a freaking long time.
Yes. It's
been produced as a convertible, a hardtop convertible, a station wagon, and now that we know it as like a cab chassis, so body on frame, truck design. It's produced in gas and diesel. It is found in Malaysia, Africa, North Korea, Russia, Ukraine, and pretty much anywhere there is a road, is what the Wikipedia says. But no, the Land Cruisers, I mean, it's just one of those trucks that you just can't kill it. We've talked about it before in this show, but diesel overseas, it's just built to last. I mean, sand all inside of it. It's wild. It's wild what that they can do.
Yeah, I think it said the Land Cruiser is the oldest Toyota still in production today.
That's wild.
Yeah, and I think Crown was number 2. Or
the Crown?
The Crown is pretty old.
Wow.
The Stout's been around for 46 years.
Good gracious.
That's including the lifespan of just the Stout. That's not including the Hilux, which was its successor.
Yeah. And the Hilux is crazy popular, especially I see a lot of those in Australia. People love those things.
The Avalon hung around for 25.
Wow. And then Greg cried. He left. Rest in peace. Greg is now driving a Crown, which that shocked me. I think it's because the Crown is more of like there's a few SUVs that Toyota produces. Like the Venza is a very high-end feel. The Crown is a high-end feel. BZ4X, obviously high-end.
Yes.
And then there's higher-end trims in most of all of the vehicles, but those right there, like you start out like the Grand Highlander, it starts at the base as an XLE, which has factory leather, so you can't get one with cloth anymore. So Toyota, they have something for everybody, but if you like the nicer options, they have that too.
Oh, for sure. Just kind of like looking into the date, it said Toyota Crown passenger vehicle that has been in production since 1955.
That's crazy.
So I wonder if Marty McFly went back to 1955 to get a Toyota Crown, or before he got his truck.
FYI, what was the one you mentioned earlier that wasn't on the list?
The Corona.
The Corona was originally a Crown.
That's crazy.
The Corona, I think there was another one. I think it might have been one of the Chaser models.
Yeah.
They were all in Japanese. Those words translated roughly back to Crown. So that was why they continued to name that body style of car.
Yeah.
The different names is because they all went back to the same original layout and plan.
That's wild.
I had to pull up this 25 Crown Signia on my phone. That is a beautiful.
This wild looking at it.
Yeah, that's
it's
beautiful.
crazy.
Well, it kind of reminds me, I don't know if it doesn't look like small, but the windows on the side is almost like the roof is a little bit shorter than you'd expect it to be on an SUV, and it reminds me of the old 90s, like Crown, Cressida, that kind of stuff.
Then the Signia's new, right? It just came out like a couple months ago.
Yeah, we have a 24 and 25 model.
And even though the roof looks low, that thing is still sporting 68.8 cubic feet of cargo space with the back seats laid down.
Jeez. So Meemaw and Peepaw can take all their kids with them.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude.
Like that's a lot of cargo space for
What's
a car.
the difference in the Signia versus the regular Crown? Is it a little bit bigger?
I think
I get the vibe it's a little bit bigger.
I think the Signia is almost more like a crossover rather than a car or an SUV. It's just more of that middle ground.
I got you.
Yeah, it kind of just reminds me of a smaller RAV4 kind of deal. Just like it's more stretched.
More RAV4 than 4Runner.
Yeah,
I do believe the Signia is replacing a vehicle. I do believe they are discontinuing a vehicle to make the Signia.
You heard it first from Brian.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Toyota, if you look at the tree of all the models now, there's a ton of...
There's a trend of
there's a ton of vehicles now. There used to be like, Camry, Corolla, Avalon, boom, there's your sedans, RAV4, 4Runner, Sequoia, boom, there's your... Now there's so many variations of stuff. I like it. I mean, more is better. I mean, you have something that fits everybody.
Oh, for sure.
And with there's several OEMs that aren't even making cars anymore. Like Chevy doesn't even make a sedan anymore.
Oh yeah.
There's no Impala. Is Ford also discontinuing cars? They still make the Taurus and stuff.
I believe
The Mustang. I mean the Mustang.
Yeah.
But
yes, they are still building the
I
Mustang.
mean, is that the
They're
only
one-off.
physical car they make?
Ford is actually the only company still producing a muscle car. Chevrolet discontinued the
Dodge
Camaro,
discontinued the Challenger.
and the Challenger, and
But
the
it's
Charger.
electric, right? Are they all electric?
No,
Okay.
that's just the Mach-E.
Ford's the only one
Yeah.
still building one with an original V8 in it.
Okay. I've only seen Mach-E's.
I did have an answer to that question. The Crown Signia is replacing the Venza. They will no longer.
That
make
makes
the
a lot of
Venza.
sense. No one the
Yeah.
Venza kind of flopped to me. It wasn't. It wasn't a good seller.
The Venza's a little more minivan, and that Signia is a little more cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of buy that for your wife if she doesn't want to be a minivan mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can be a.
And no
Crown
one
Signia
actually
mom.
does want to be a minivan mom.
No.
You're forced into that role. Yeah,
Well.
that's not a choice.
I ended up buying my wife a RAV4. It's the first Toyota that I've ever bought.
All right.
Yeah.
And
nice.
Which
I
one'd you
bought-
get?
It was the. It's an SE,
Okay.
and it's that cool like lunar rock gray with
Yeah,
the
that's
black
a good color.
painted rather than the plastic finish on it.
Yeah.
Thing is beautiful.
Yeah.
man.
Lunar Rock's a good color.
Yeah.
She absolutely loves that thing.
Yeah. RAV4s drive good, man.
Yeah.
They got good visibility up off the ground.
Probably one of the best suspension riding vehicles too. Like you hit
Yeah.
a bump, it's like there was nothing there.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay, my wife, has a 2021 RAV4 silver.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's a good vehicle.
Yeah. It's very spacious too.
Yeah.
Like for a guy like
More
me,
than what you think.
Like I'm 6 foot, but I'm really long legged. So
Yeah.
like cars are not my friend because there's not enough leg room in them. I can sit in that thing very comfortably.
That's cool.
RAV4s are great, one of the most practical vehicles ever made, but we're dogging on minivans a little bit. This Sienna is like a spaceship.
It is literally
yes.
like it is a land yacht.
Yeah.
It is so nice.
Exactly, yeah. It's like a road sofa. Like it's
Yeah. It's comfortable. I drove one from Dalton to West Texas on a hunting trip, and I got it stuck in a peanut field. And that's where I found out that it has no front or rear tow points, so we hooked a ratchet strap to the rear coil springs and prayed we didn't pull it out. But we did get it out, and I drove it all the way back home, and it was great. And I'm telling you, like, for 3 guys and all their hunting stuff, it was like an apartment, and it was great. Great suspension, dude. It was awesome.
There's
it hauled
enough room
butt.
in that thing to be an
It's
apartment.
awesome.
I think when you buy one, it has a sticker on it that says "Keep away from peanut fields." I'm
Yeah,
thinking
probably.
for that,
yeah.
for that reason.
I did not. I don't ever read the
Yeah,
sticker,
yeah.
so
You didn't read the fine print.
I have a picture of about 56 sandhill cranes lined up on the top of it. So I have to show you that post show, but it was a good trip.
No,
That is
sounds like-
hilarious.
We got the most out of the Enterprise for sure,
Oh, for sure. That's funny.
You definitely made them put their work in.
dude. Yeah, oh yeah, it was a great time.
Connor, Brian, anything else you would like to say?
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, man,
This has been
100%.
fun.
We'll have you
No,
guys back on the show one day.
Yeah,
That'll be fun.
I enjoyed this. I want to sit around and talk about Toyota all the time.
Yeah,
So-
we'll have you back on
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
show.
We'll do it
'cause-
again.
Because if you're
Happy
up
to be
to, you said up how many 300,000 on yours.
Yeah.
I want to keep an eye on your
Well,
journey.
no, my little pickup, the one that I drive every day that's sitting out front, that's vinyl wrapped with dynamic roofing, storm damage experts. That one's
That's
sitting
cool.
in the parking lot right now with 300,000. I've got
Yeah.
one at the farm that's an 87 base model pickup, 2-wheel drive, nothing fancy. And it's an automatic. I wish it was a manual, but that says a lot for an automatic transmission.
Yeah, it does.
Original from 87 to be approaching
Jeez.
$500,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't baby it. It hasn't been babied in
Yeah.
a long time. At some point, somebody did, but it's a farm truck. I would love to get it over $500,000. I'm gonna have to start working on that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. We'll have to keep an eye on your journey on
in that
that.
amount of time, what all have you done to it maintenance wise? Just curious.
So I have actually a stack of everything that's ever been done to it,
Wow.
and it was dealer serviced for most of its life.
Okay.
The only thing that's ever failed on me, which I was able to fix on the side of the road without even having to go to the parts store, I had a belt break, which should have been a maintenance issue that
Wow.
I didn't catch. And I was able to take, I think the alternator belt broke, and I took the belt off of the compressor. And it's the same belt, so 3 of
Wow.
the same belts on there essentially, and fixed it with. We always talk about reliability, but when you do have to work on these, if you've got a 10, a 12, a 14, a 17, and some screwdrivers, you're
You've
good.
got everything you will
Yeah.
ever need.
That's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So literally a belt and 500,000 miles, and then oil and
Yeah,
fluids.
there's been some stuff down the road, alternators, power steering pumps, but it's the original engine, original transmission, and
Wow.
you would never
Jeez.
know. Like day one, just
That's
smooth
cool.
as can be, shifting
awesome.
smooth, cranking every time, beautiful.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, friends, if we're all done for the day, it has been a really fun podcast. We'll definitely have Connor back on the show one day, and of course Brian too.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys are a really fun little team we have here today for our dealership and our podcast. Yeah, like if you guys are going to make your way out to our dealership at 1510 Walnut Avenue, Dalton, Georgia. East Walnut Avenue. Yes, East Walnut.
Yeah,
forget the East.
Yeah,
not next door.
Yeah, not next door.
Don't go to Nissan; they hate you.
No. Yeah, meet us at that address, and we'll be happy to help you to find the truck of your dreams or the car of your dreams. You can always call us at 706-278-1322 to set up your appointment with Daniel. He'll be happy to get you going to find your vehicle. And don't forget, if you need any... or like if for any roofing needs, call our friend Connor.
What's the number? Where can
what's
they find
the
you?
number website we can find you on?
Yeah, you can reach me at 678-467-8356. Inspections are always free. I put together photo reports all the time and let people know what's going on up there, because most of the time you don't want your homeowners climbing up on these tall, steep, slick roofs. So, yeah, reach out if you got questions or for just a checkup.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, call Connor, everybody. And Dynamic Roofing. Keep an eye on them. Well, folks, we'll meet you guys in the next one. This has been a fun podcast. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Right on.
All right. Good job, guys. This has been another edition of the Wheels and Deals podcast sponsored by North Georgia Toyota. Please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can listen to our podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe and stay tuned for future episodes.